Today, I want you to take a moment and think back. Think about the person you were at 20, at 30, at 40. Each decade brought new challenges, new triumphs, and a new version of you. The journey of life is one of constant change, and the chapter you're in right now, your 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond, is no different. It is, however, special. This is the chapter of wisdom, of reflection, of understanding. But it also brings physical changes, subtle shifts and nudges from our bodies that we can't ignore. They are not signs of defeat. They are simply signals, asking for a new kind of attention and care. Today, we're going to talk about 4 of these common signals in men. We'll look beyond the surface to understand the why behind them. More importantly, we'll explore the how we can respond not with fear, but with knowledge, grace, and strength. This isn't about fighting aging. It's about embracing the journey with wisdom. Let's begin.
Part 1. The Scent of a Life Well Lived. Have you ever walked into an old library or a room filled with antique wooden furniture and leather-bound books? There's a distinct aroma, isn't there? It's not unpleasant. It's the scent of time, of history, of stories held within the pages and the wood grain. In a similar, deeply personal way, our bodies begin to develop their own unique scent as we journey through the years. It's a change many men notice but few discuss, often mistaking it for a lapse in hygiene. But the truth is far more fascinating and has nothing to do with how often you shower. This subtle, often described as a grassy, waxy, or even faintly woody aroma, is the result of a specific biochemical process. The star of this show is a molecule called 2-nonenal. Think of it as a natural byproduct of a life fully lived. As we age, the antioxidant defenses in our skin naturally begin to decline. At the same time, the composition of oils and fatty acids on our skin changes. When these fatty acids are exposed to oxygen over time, a process called oxidative stress, much like how a sliced apple turns brown when left on the counter, they break down and create 2-nonenal. This compound is the source of that signature old person smell, a term I find rather cold and clinical. I prefer to think of it as the scent of wisdom, an olfactory signature of your personal history. What makes this scent so unique and persistent is its chemistry. Unlike typical body odor, which is caused by bacteria breaking down sweat and is easily washed away, non-enal is not water-soluble. It's an oily compound that clings to the skin and, most frustratingly, to fabrics. This is why a 74-year-old gentleman named Richard, whom the original story mentioned, found his shirts retaining a peculiar smell even after a thorough wash. His granddaughter charmingly described it as smelling like books and wood, a testament to how this scent is often perceived not as foul, but simply different. He switched soaps and detergents to no avail because the source was his own skin's natural, evolving chemistry. So, if this is a natural process, are we simply at its mercy? Absolutely not. While you cannot stop the production of non-enal entirely, you can absolutely manage it and live in greater harmony with this change. The approach is twofold, addressing it on your skin and in your environment. First, your skin. Many traditional soaps are designed to tackle water-soluble grime and bacteria. To effectively manage non-enal, you need something that can break down oils. Soaps containing persimmon extract have been used for generations in Japan for this very purpose. Persimmon tannin is known to neutralize nonenal. Look for these specialty soaps online or in health food stores. Additionally, exfoliating gently can help remove the buildup of skin cells and oils where the compound resides. Second, your diet can play a supportive role. Since nonenal is a result of oxidative stress, loading up on antioxidants can help bolster your body's natural defenses from the inside out. Think of vibrant colors on your plate: deep blue from blueberries, rich red from tomatoes and raspberries, dark green from spinach and kale. Green tea is another antioxidant powerhouse. These foods won't stop the process, but they support overall skin health and may help mitigate the intensity. Finally, your fabrics. Since nonenal binds so stubbornly to clothes, bed linens, and towels, your laundry routine might need a small upgrade. Adding a cup of baking soda or a specialized odor-eliminating laundry booster to your wash cycle can work wonders. These products help break down the oily compounds that your regular detergent might leave behind. Airing out clothes in the sun can also help, as UV light can help break down the odor-causing molecules. Embracing this change starts with understanding it. It is not a mark of uncleanliness. It is a biological footprint of your years. By adopting these simple, targeted strategies, you can manage this new scent with confidence, reframing it from a source of self-consciousness to just another quiet, manageable aspect of your wise journey.
Part 2. Navigating the changing tides of your midsection. There's a moment that many men experience, often in the quiet of their own bedroom. You catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror, or try on a favorite pair of trousers that suddenly feel snug. Your mind scrolls back through the years to a photograph of a younger, leaner you, and the contrast is undeniable. The midsection, once flat or easily managed, has expanded. It feels like a betrayal, especially when you think, "But I'm eating the same way I always have." This growing belly, often stubbornly resistant to your old tricks, is one of the most visible and frustrating signs of aging for men. This change isn't a sign of letting yourself go. It's a profound metabolic and hormonal shift. Let's break down the 3 key players in this conspiracy against your waistline. First, your metabolism. Your basal metabolic rate, the number of calories your body burns at rest, naturally slows down as you age. This is largely tied to the second player, muscle mass. Beginning around age 30, men can lose 3 to 5% of their muscle mass per decade, a process known as sarcopenia. Muscle is metabolically active tissue. It's a calorie-burning furnace. Less muscle means a cooler furnace, and fewer calories are burned throughout the day. The third and most powerful player is your hormonal profile, specifically the decline in testosterone. Testosterone is a master architect of the male physique. It encourages the body to build lean muscle and to store fat in a more distributed pattern. As testosterone levels naturally wane with age, this directive weakens. The body becomes less efficient at building and maintaining muscle, and it begins to favor storing excess energy as fat. And its preferred storage location? Right in the abdomen. This visceral fat, packed deep around your internal organs, is what causes that firm, protruding belly. Frank, the 76-year-old from the video, experienced this classic pattern. His belly grew while his arms and legs seemed to get thinner. This wasn't his imagination. His body was actively redistributing its composition, losing precious muscle from his limbs and accumulating dangerous fat in his core. And dangerous is the operative word here. This is not merely an aesthetic issue. Unlike the softer, pinchable subcutaneous fat just under the skin, visceral fat is a metabolically active organ unto itself. It churns out inflammatory substances called cytokines, that wreak havoc throughout the body. These inflammatory signals contribute to insulin resistance, raising your risk of type 2 diabetes. They can increase blood pressure and unhealthy cholesterol levels, directly contributing to heart disease, heart attacks, and strokes. Emerging research even links high levels of midlife abdominal fat to a greater risk of cognitive decline and dementia later in life. This is why addressing your expanding waistline is one of the most powerful health moves you can make in your senior years. So, how do you fight this tide? You don't fight it with crash diets or the punishing cardio routines of your youth. You fight it with a smarter, more strategic approach. The cornerstone of your defense is resistance training. You must give your body a reason to hold on to and even build new muscle. This doesn't mean that you need to become a bodybuilder. It means consistently challenging your muscles. This can be done with resistance bands, light dumbbells, or even your own body weight. Simple, safe, and effective exercises include chair squats, squatting down until you tap a chair and standing back up, wall push-ups, and bicep curls with soup cans or resistance bands. Aim for 2 to 3 sessions a week, focusing on all major muscle groups. This will not only build muscle to reignite your metabolic furnace, but it will also improve your stability and strength for everyday life. Next, you must rethink your plate. Protein becomes the hero of your diet. Your body needs more protein now than it did in your youth to stimulate muscle growth. Aim to include a quality protein source with every meal. This could be eggs for breakfast, a grilled chicken salad for lunch, and a piece of salmon for dinner. Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, and beans are also excellent sources. Protein not only provides the building blocks for muscle, but also keeps you feeling full and satisfied, making it easier to control your overall calorie intake. Finally, be a ruthless editor of carbohydrates. Not all carbs are evil, but the processed, sugary ones are the primary fuel for belly fat. White bread, pastries, sugary sodas, and excessive sweets cause a rapid spike in blood sugar and insulin. Insulin's job is to shuttle sugar out of the blood, and when your muscles don't need it, its favorite place to store it is in your abdominal fat cells. By swapping these for high-fiber carbohydrates, like vegetables, beans, and small portions of whole grains, you keep your blood sugar stable and starve your belly fat. Gaining some weight in the midsection is a common part of the male aging story, but allowing it to take over your health is not a foregone conclusion. By embracing strength training and making smart protein-forward nutritional choices, you can manage your waistline and in doing so, protect your heart, your mind, and your independence for years to come.
Part 3. Our ears, the lifelong listeners. Of all the changes our bodies undergo, some are dramatic, some are subtle, and some are just plain strange. The slow, seemingly endless growth of our ears definitely falls into that last category. You might not notice it day to day, but compare a photograph from your 30s to your reflection today, and the evidence is often right there, hanging on the sides of your head. Your ears look bigger. It's a peculiar phenomenon that has sparked jokes and folklore, but it is a genuine, measurable biological fact. So what's going on? Are they truly growing in the same way a child grows? The answer is a fascinating yes and no. The growth comes from 2 distinct processes working in tandem over the decades. The first process involves cartilage. Unlike our bones, which stop growing after puberty, cartilage is a type of connective tissue that can continue to grow throughout our entire lives. The outer part of your ear, the visible flap known as the pinna, is made almost entirely of cartilage. Cell by cell, year by year, this cartilage framework slowly expands. Studies have measured this growth, finding it to be, on average, about 0.22 millimeters per year. That's a tiny amount, imperceptible in the short term. But over 30, 40, or 50 years, it adds up to a noticeable increase in overall ear size. The second, and perhaps more impactful process, is the relentless pull of gravity. As we age, our skin loses its youthful elasticity and firmness. This is due to a decline in the production of collagen and elastin, the two proteins that act as the skin's scaffolding, keeping it taut and springy. The skin on our earlobes is particularly susceptible to this. Over time, gravity gently but persistently tugs downward on this less supported skin and cartilage. The result is that the ears don't just get bigger, they get longer. The lobes stretch, thin out, and droop, which significantly contributes to the appearance of a much larger ear. George, the 78-year-old retired teacher from the video, saw this dual effect perfectly when he looked at his old wedding photo. It wasn't just that his ears were larger overall, they had a different shape. They looked elongated, and the once firm lobes had become softer and stretched. This is the universal experience for nearly every older man, yet it's one we rarely discuss. It's a quiet change, happening in plain sight. Unlike belly fat or muscle loss, growing ears pose absolutely no health risks. They are a benign, harmless quirk of human physiology. However, for some men, this change can become a source of self-consciousness. In a culture that often prizes youth, any visible sign of aging can feel like a departure from one's former self. But this is where the wise journey perspective is so crucial. We can reframe this change. Think about it. These are the same ears that listened to your wedding vows. They heard your children's first words and their laughter echoing through the house. They took in the advice of your mentors and the stories of your elders. They've listened to decades of music and news and the quiet sounds of nature. They are not just appendages, they are the receivers that have recorded the entire soundtrack of your life. Their changing shape is a physical testament to their long and faithful service. While you can't stop cartilage from growing or turn back the clock on gravity, there are small things you can do to support the health of the skin around your ears, which may subtly temper the effects of drooping. First, sun protection is key. The ears are one of the most common sites for sun damage and skin cancer because they are so often neglected when applying sunscreen. Chronic sun exposure breaks down collagen and elastin even faster. Make it a habit to apply sunscreen to your ears and wear a wide-brim hat when you're outdoors for extended periods of time. Second, what's good for your face is good for your ears. When you're applying moisturizer to your face, take an extra moment to massage it into your ears and earlobes. Keeping the skin hydrated and nourished can help maintain its texture and suppleness. Products containing retinoids or peptides, known for boosting collagen, can also be used on the ears, though it's more about maintenance than dramatic reversal. Ultimately, the best thing you can do about your growing ears is to accept them with a sense of humor and grace. They are part of your story, a sign of a life long listened. They make you look distinguished. Like the rings of a tree, they signify the passage of time and the accumulation of wisdom. So next time you look in the mirror, instead of seeing ears that are too big, try to see the ears of a man who has heard a great deal and has a great deal of wisdom worth hearing.
Part 4. Rebuilding the pillars of your strength. There is a fundamental strength that we take for granted for most of our lives: the power in our legs. It's the power to rise from a deep armchair without using our hands, the power to climb a flight of stairs with confidence, the power to walk across an uneven lawn without a second thought. For many men, one of the first and most unsettling signs of aging is a subtle erosion of this power, and it often starts in the calves. You might look down one day and notice that your calves, which were once firm and well-defined from a lifetime of activity, appear smaller, thinner. It's not just your imagination. This phenomenon is a classic sign of age-related muscle atrophy, also known as sarcopenia. And while it happens all over the body, it is particularly noticeable and consequential in the lower legs. Your calves are more than just cosmetic muscles. They are pillars supporting your mobility, your balance, and your independence. This shrinking of the calves is driven by a trio of factors. First, as we've discussed, are the hormonal shifts. Declining levels of testosterone and growth hormone mean the build and repair signals sent to your muscles become weaker and less frequent. Your body simply can't replace old muscle tissue as quickly as it once did. Second, and this is a crucial point, is a gradual, often unconscious decrease in the intensity of our activity. You may still walk every day, which is wonderful, but you might not be running for the bus, jumping over a puddle, or doing heavy yard work that requires explosive calf strength. The specific, high-intensity muscle fibers in your calves, the ones that give them their size and power, begin to go dormant from disuse. The body is incredibly efficient. If you don't use it, you lose it. Third is a change in the circulatory system. Over time, blood flow to the extremities can become less robust. Muscles need a rich supply of oxygenated blood to thrive and repair themselves. Reduced circulation can further hamper the muscle maintenance process, accelerating atrophy. Robert, the 75-year-old from the video who had spent his career on his feet, felt this change acutely. The strong calves he had always relied on became weaker, and everyday tasks suddenly felt like a challenge. This isn't just about feeling weaker, it's about a real and present danger. The calves act as a critical component of your balance system. They make constant, tiny adjustments to keep you upright. Weak calves lead directly to poor balance, a slower walking speed, and a significantly increased risk of falls. A fall for a senior can be a life-altering event, often leading to a loss of independence. This is why addressing disappearing calves is not optional. It is essential preventative maintenance for a long, active life. The good news, and it is truly wonderful news, is that muscle atrophy is not a one-way street. Muscle tissue retains its ability to respond to exercise at any age. You can slow, stop, and even reverse a significant portion of muscle loss with targeted effort. You can rebuild your pillars. The most direct way to do this is with simple calf strengthening exercises. The king of these is the calf raise. Stand facing a wall or holding on to the back of a sturdy chair for balance. Slowly rise up onto the balls of your feet, holding the peak contraction for a second, and then slowly lower your heels back down. Aim for 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions. As you get stronger, you can progress to doing one leg at a time. Another fantastic exercise is walking on an incline, whether it's up a gentle hill, outdoors, or on a treadmill. This forces your calves to work harder with every step. Resistance bands can also be used while seated to provide a safe way to work the calf muscles. Consistency is far more important than intensity. A few sets of calf raises done 3 to 4 times a week will yield far better results than one grueling workout that leaves you sore for days. The goal is to gently reawaken those dormant muscle fibers and signal to your body that these muscles are still very much in use. Of course, exercise is only half the equation. You cannot rebuild a house without bricks, and you cannot rebuild muscle without protein. As mentioned before, ensuring adequate protein intake is critical. Spreading your protein throughout the day helps your body maintain a constant state of muscle protein synthesis. Think of it as providing a steady trickle of building materials to your muscles all day long. Don't ignore the quiet message your calves are sending you. They are your foundation. A little weakness there is a call to action. By responding with simple, consistent exercises and proper nutrition, you are doing more than just building bigger calves. You are investing in your future. You are ensuring that you can continue to stand tall, walk confidently, and navigate the world on your own terms for many years to come. We've journeyed together today through 4 very personal changes that many men experience as they age. A new scent to our skin, a shift in our midsection, the lifelong growth of our ears, and the thinning of our calves. On the surface, they might seem like unwelcome reminders of the passage of time. But I hope that by looking deeper, you see them differently now. They are not random failings. They are predictable, understandable biological processes. They are road signs, not stop signs. They are your body's way of communicating with you, telling a story of the years you've lived and signaling what it needs from you now. Aging is not a passive process of decline. It is an active journey of adaptation, and you are the wisest captain of this ship. The power lies in this knowledge. Understanding why your belly is growing allows you to fight back with targeted exercise and nutrition. Knowing why your calves are shrinking empowers you to rebuild them, protecting your independence. Understanding these changes transforms you from a victim of circumstance into an informed, proactive caretaker of your own well-being. Your body has carried you through a long and fascinating life. Your role now is to be its wisest steward. If this conversation resonated with you, if you feel a little more empowered today, please show your support by giving this video a like. Share it with a friend or a brother who might be on a similar journey. And most importantly, if you haven't already, please subscribe to Senior Wise Journey and click that notification bell. Our community is built on sharing wisdom and supporting one another through every chapter of life. We have so many more stories to share and so much more to learn together. Thank you for your time and for being a part of this journey. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.